Well, Dave, how are you doing today?
Good, very good. Very good.
Very good.
Happy as a little
indeed.
lark today.
Well, me too. Guess where I was last Friday while you were carrying on by yourself here?
Let's see, were you in Paris? Were you in Paris?
Better than that.
Paris in the springtime.
David sings.
Were you in Rome?
I was roaming elsewhere.
Where were you?
I was in California. Lompoc, California. Does that name ring a bell?
Well, I know. Yes, it does.
What's
There's
the
a famous
bell?
place.
The bell is Bill DeMayo, who was our
Professor.
guest a number of weeks ago. It was a wonderful, wonderful program,
Nice
like
man.
every other program that we do. And he had told us about the wild horse sanctuary that his daughter, Netta DeMayo, founded in Lompoc, California.
Yes.
And, of course, he extends an open invitation to people to visit the sanctuary, see the wonderful work they're doing. And I decided to take him up on that invitation last week. And
Can
I'll
you
tell
stay
you,
over there if you visit? Do they have, if an everyday person goes there, do they have the ability to stay over?
well, if you're a volunteer
If
to
you
help work on the
Yeah,
farm, on
okay.
the sanctuary, they will try to put you up.
Oh, nice.
Most people naturally would stay at a motel or something
All
in the
right.
nearby town of Lompoc. But I'll tell you, I just spent 5 days in paradise.
Really?
They have 300 acres of magnificent land, farmland.
Is it
and-
pretty? I mean, good looking. I mean, it's beautiful.
Well, to my eyes, it's
Yeah,
as
okay,
beautiful as can be.
Yeah.
It's semi-desert, you know,
Mhm.
but there is some green there. But even the desert, of course,
Yes,
desert
sure.
kind of landscape can be beautiful. I mean, it's not really desert, but it's not filled with shrubbery and trees and so forth.
Mhm,
There are
mhm.
some, of course, there's some tropical type foliage around
Mhm.
too, palm trees and things like
Oh.
that in the town of Lompoc. But theirs is like a farm.
Mhm.
It's hilly, and I mean significant hills. You can do real climbing right on that property, and it's surrounded by hills, and if you go drive a little distance, you'll get into real mountains. And you can just walk on the property, and you are among over 100 wild horses, Mustangs, stallions, and mares, and burros.
What's a burro? Like a...
Like a donkey.
Donkey,
Yeah,
okay, donkey
just wandering about.
Now, could you go near them at all?
Yes, I mean it's probably best to just let
Leave 'em
them
alone,
be,
yeah.
because
Mhm.
the whole idea of the place is for these wild horses to remain among
Yeah, sure.
horses, you know. But a number of them have inevitably become accustomed to humans because they're fed by humans. You know,
Mhm.
I saw at 7 a.m. outside my window, because I was staying overnight in the house actually, I would see somebody drive a truck full of hay up the hill, and then somebody standing on the truck would throw out the bales of hay for the horses, you know. There's not, because there are so many horses that they're trying to rescue, and they have relatively little land, even though it's a vast estate by our standards, you know. It's still not enough to actually support horses simply on grazing, on the basis of grazing, so they have to supplement it with hay. And in fact, anybody who would like to adopt a horse and sponsor a horse can,
Well, tell 'em how to
donate
get a hold of
money.
them.
Well, I guess the easiest thing to say would be to go to Google and just type in "Return to Freedom," because that is the name of the Wild Horse Sanctuary. But you could also contact me, Joel Marks at the University of New Haven. You can look me up on Google too. Marks is spelled M-A-R-K-S. Or you can just email me at jmarks@newhaven.edu. But your best bet is just go to their website, Return to Freedom, the Wild Horse Sanctuary in Lompoc, California. And if you make a donation, a monthly donation of a certain amount, you can actually adopt one of these wild horses, pay for its feed and care, and you get to name the horse. And I actually got
Did
to
you see
visit
your horse?
my horse. Yes.
Did you like your horse? I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you met the horse, did you feel an affinity towards the horse? No, seriously. Did you feel that you? Did you feel
I
anything
loved
towards?
the whole place. I
No,
loved
but
all
did
the
you feel
horses.
anything special towards your horse?
Yes, I did.
Okay. That's
I
what
did feel something special towards my horse, but I mean, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because I think I would have felt special about any horse that had been my horse.
No, I know, but it's just the idea of having a horse of your own.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
it does. Yeah, of course, it matters to me. I was especially keen to see my horse. It made the trip extra special that I had a special connection to that particular horse, and I saw it under very interesting circumstances. Because Neda, who owns, who operates this sanctuary, took me on a nighttime walk. We started in the evening because it was the sun was so intense during the day that you either do your walking in the morning or the evening. Right. So we happened to be taking this particular walk in the evening. The last hour of sunlight, and then we just kept going after the sun set because a beautiful gibbous moon, an almost full moon.
Okay, what's gibbous?
Means almost full. It's the complement of a crescent. It's the opposite shape of a crescent. Okay, that's what a gibbous is.
Oh, all right, I know.
Okay,
that's great.
So there was a gorgeous gibbous moon that was rising, and the atmosphere was so perfectly clear that you saw this moon, I mean, directly on the horizon, which actually wasn't the true horizon, but the crest of one of the hills on the property. Right. But still, it looked like the moon was just sitting there on top of that hilltop. And so we continued our walk by moonlight.
Wow.
And it was under those circumstances that we finally came across my horse, Billy. I named him after Bill DeMayo, you see. Hey, that's what he sounded like,
That's
Dave.
Great. That's great, though.
And he's a strawberry roan. That's the name of the color. That's the name of the color.
Color,
yeah.
Okay.
Sort of a very light tan, I guess you'd say. Reddish because strawberry roan, and he had a thick white stripe down his nose, so he was, distinctive looking to me.
Did he recognize you?
Oh, hey, he came right up to me and we shook hands,
Joel, thanks for all you've done for me.
No, I couldn't get close to him. Neda tried to get close to him, and got close enough so that he didn't immediately go away. She was able to sit down a few feet from him and talk to him. And I, on purpose, stayed a little further away so as not to spook him because I just wanted to watch him. And later, on another occasion, I saw him off in the distance galloping. It was just so neat.
That is
I mean, it took me back to my youth of watching countless westerns on TV and in the movies, Yeah. But what Neda and Bill and his wife Stella have done is absolutely remarkable. I mean,
he's a capable guy too.
Oh man, of course
he's
got.
Very capable.
I mean, he was a professor of accounting at the University of New Haven for many years, and that's how I met him as a colleague.
Of
finance.
He was a Ernst & Young partner, I think.
Right, and he was in our development office in charge of planned giving and so forth, things like that. But he's just such a wonderful person.
He is. I don't know how you get
he's
that
82 years old, and he was out there every day doing the chores like everybody else. He reminded me of a Zen master, the kind of person who says, if you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah, he probably is a Zen master. Yeah, when you get right down to it. So it was with his, I guess, financial smarts, you might say, plus his dedication to a good cause, plus his dedication to his daughter's dream that helped bring this place into existence. Of course, its existence is always precarious. It depends on a constant stream of donations and so forth, but they're meeting with a lot of success. For example, one of their publicity coups was to get Disney to donate this horse Spirit to the sanctuary, the actual horse on which the cartoon was based. The drawings, were modeled on this actual horse. And I met Spirit. He's the most beautiful, cute-looking thing. He's not big like you might expect from a movie about a stallion, he looks almost like a pony, but he is just so perfect.
Proportioned.
So perfectly proportioned. But you don't want to get close to him, he's skittish and everything, and And I think somebody does ride him, but you know, he's not just a friendly sort. You're not supposed to consort with him, really.
Yeah.
But I have some pictures with him and
Wonderful.
all that. I took loads and loads and loads and loads,
Did you bring
and
any
loads
with
of
you?
pictures. Well, they're getting developed. I'm
All right, we
still
can-
one of
we
those
can show 'em on
old-fashioned
the-
people who sends photographs to a
Have you got a
processor.
digital camera?
No,
I'll let you use mine.
I don't want to use a
All right,
digital
I'm
camera.
sorry.
I like being able to relive my experiences weeks later when the prints come back from the processor. You know, I mean, that's
Well,
an
let me ask
aspect
you
of
this, okay?
experience
Not to
too.
get off your subject. Would you be willing to try my digital camera?
Absolutely
one time?
not.
All right, okay.
No, I know it's great, but you know what it is, Dave?
What?
It's like email, right?
Yes.
I resisted it for many years
Yes.
because
But now you love
our
email.
listeners and especially our viewers will probably be horrified to learn that I do not even own a television
No, I
set.
think you're wonderful.
All right,
Tom.
but I finally gave in to a computer because of pressures, you know, from my work and so forth. I finally gave in to email because there was a particular person I wanted to correspond to,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was
See, that's what
easy to
happens.
do it that way. And now, okay, and when I was out at this wild horse sanctuary for 5 solid days, okay, just
You just watch
communing with
television
nature,
and email
I
all day.
suddenly got a vision of the life I lead now here,
compared.
which is sitting in front of a computer
Yeah, me too.
all
Or a television.
day.
Yeah, me too.
All right?
Yeah, I
And
agree
it
with you.
is so horrible.
It is horrible.
Even though, of course, when I'm doing it,
You're happy.
I'm totally into it. There's just endless fascinating stuff on the internet, and
Yes.
the emailing enables me to maintain contact with wonderful people and interesting people, etc., etc. But when you get a different perspective on it, you see that it's ludicrous.
It is. It's crazy.
And that's one of the reasons it's
It's
so
a change
important for
in the
people
history of the world.
to take vacations, really.
Yeah.
You know, I was just working at my computer all summer,
Happily,
thinking
Yeah, me
I
too.
didn't need a vacation at all, and then I just got this last-second opportunity, and as a result, I suddenly looked back at my regular life and saw that it was ludicrous. So I am going to try to bring back some of that vision to my life now to see if I can figure out some way to restructure my day-to-day life so that it contains a healthy dose of that wild horse sanctuary experience